The most important piece of advice I can give to a new KitchenAid mixer owner is this. Do not overload your machine, as in put too much in the bowl. If you're making dough, never go over speed 2. If you do, this will happen. Take a look. I've turned it on. It's not spinning. Those two things almost always result in a damaged machine caused by user error. Now, I'm going to show you how to fix this issue, and then we're also going to do some internal upgrades along the way. Now, we definitely have a damaged gear in there, so we just got to start disassembling. We take off the back cap. We're going to take off the beauty band here. Now, this may be a little bit surprising, but this model of machine isn't even a year old yet. It's already leaking grease, as we can tell. Or oil, rather. The oil has separated from the grease. Take a look here. You wouldn't even know this was oil if you didn't know. I think that's why they switched to a white grease. It was much more evident with the black grease. Look, it really just does look like oil. So after we remove this drip ring here, we can take a punch, and we can also punch out this pin on the planetary, which will allow us to pull down on the planetary and remove it. Now, just to remove the planetary screws, there's 5 there, there's 2 in the body right here, and then 1 on the back on each side. Once you have all those screws out, these heads, they literally just pull apart. Take a look, you can see that gear right there is absolutely shredded. I mean, seriously, take a look. We got teeth, gums. And all these little black flakes right here, these are all fragments of that gear tooth in the grease, so we have to replace all that. We're gonna get in here with our scraper tools, and we're just gonna remove all this grease. Now, this Evergreen machine is pretty much brand new. It was released in September of 2024, so this is, in fact, its first reach around. We're gonna go ahead and take this grease off of this shaft. And we remove that grease so that when we push up on this shaft, we locate this pin right here, we can remove that, which in turn will allow us to use a little percussive maintenance to drive out this shaft. Now, if we get a firm grip, we can pull this shaft out, which will then allow us to grab this center gear here and remove that as well. Now, this is why that machine was leaking. You can tell this grease, it's just very fluid-like. We'll replace that with a higher caliber of grease. Now, all of these gears that we remove will come through and we'll scrape off all of this old grease. Making sure to pay close attention, we want to get in between all of these teeth and look for any damage or any cracks. Before we come up here and replace this gear, I want to take a look at replacing this push rod right here. You can see it is plastic. And as you can see, it sits right on top of this field assembly, which gets hot. Plastic and heat don't mix. Here's an old one. You can tell they melt. I immediately realized that was going to be a problem, so I went out of my way and I manufactured a metal one. Now, it's not too hard to replace if we grab this spring, stretch it, and pull it out of place, followed by loosening the 2 screws that are at the top of the speed plate here. Doing so will allow us to remove this speed control plate out of the way and get access to that push rod. We got 1 more screw to remove. In older units, this is a Phillips head, but in this one, it is a square Robertson number 2-bit. And once that is removed, it gives us access to just pull away on this speed lever. Followed by wiggling out this speed control spring, now we can just go ahead and remove this plastic piece of crap. We will then install a brace right here and then slide this new metal rod into place, securing it back down with our screw. Now, see how this spring has a Z-shaped pattern? We'll drop that into the hole. We will turn it so that it catches on that 90 degree, and now it's held in place. We can go ahead and reinstall it. Take a look, it just hooks into that channel right there on the bottom of the speed plate. Now we have a functioning, working metal speed rod. Now, I don't know why they made that change. They used to make it out of metal, but luckily we can fix it. Now, we need to remove this gear. There is 1, 2, and 3 screws on here that we need to take out, which will allow us to grab this tower and remove it. Now, with this tower out, we did clean up. You'll see there's a pin right here. We need a 3/32 punch. We're going to go ahead and punch that out. And once that pin is out, we need to remove this pinion shaft gear. So we can pull on that. We might have to tap down from the top. And with the pinion shaft gear removed, this worm gear just pulls away from the machine. This is actually just the most common failed piece on the entirety of this system. I'm not saying that because it's bad. Let's take a better look. You can see that it's absolutely ravaged. This is what it should look like. And again, this isn't necessarily a bad gear. It's designed to be a failed safe gear, but it fails because, well, all the other gears are made out of metal. So this is the first piece that goes. But it doesn't necessarily go easy. It takes a lot of use to wear one of these down. Or, like I said, with improper use, it will be the first one to strip. It protects the rest of the system from binding up and just blowing everything up in there. We've got our new gear here. You can see we got a little shim right there. We'll go ahead and slide up this pin, and then we'll get 1 more shim on the top side. And once that's done, we can just go ahead and punch this pin back into place. All right, it's time to start adding some new grease. Take a look at how much thicker this stuff is. Base layer, we got the pinion shaft gear greased up. We can go ahead and just drop this down into place. And then give it a good screw. Put that center gear back into place. We can just get this baby lubed up. Got her all lubed up. We put the heads back together and got the screws in. Now we just need to slide this planetary up into place. And once it's in place, we get 1 more bang sesh. We're going to go ahead and pound this pin in, followed by a brief tuning session because, well, we want this thing to run as perfect as possible. And boom, just like that, this thing is literally better than new. I fix a lot of these things, so I always know exactly what they need. We send these things home in perfect condition because I love what I do and I wouldn't have it any other way.